2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Hello. No, it's not on. Hello. No, I'm not. All right, I'll be here. Hello. Testing. La 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 la. I don't think so. Oh, it is? Okay. All right, cool. I'll just get close to it, and I'll get it closer to it. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah.
Yep. Come, come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. If you came alone or with others, you are welcome here. No matter whom you love or how you speak or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. If you come with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, then you are indeed welcome here. Now, I wanted to make a note about the prelude, the offertory, and the postlude. If you're listening and with us from live stream, we invite you to, number one, know that the lyrics to the songs in the translation are located on the live stream, as well as for these particular, for the prelude, the offertory, and the postlude, we ask you to look for the songs on your own, just because we can't do so for copyright reasons. So we apologize for that, but we really are thankful that you're with us, and we hope that that suffices. So. stand so that we can greet you. As a lay-led congregation, we invite a variety of worship leaders from our congregation and the broader community to give the sermon and contribute to other parts of our service. We are delighted today that our worship leader is longtime friend of the congregation, Gabe Christian-Solá. Now, we invite you to please rise in body and or spirit and join me in lighting the chalice of our heritage. You can find the words in your order of service. We take refuge in all that is holy. We take refuge in the sacred teachings throughout the ages. We take refuge in our community of faith and in the interdependent web of life. Please remain as you are for our opening hymn, number 1053. It is in your green hymnal. $10.53 in your green hymnal, teal hymnal. Yeah. Now it's time for our Time for All Ages. The book today will be read by Ryan Jade. We invite those who are young and young at heart to join us up here on these carpet circles that I'm about to put up.
Check, check. Can you hear me okay? Can you give a thumbs up if you can hear me? Cool, thank you. While all of the children and young at heart come and gather, I want us to take a collective breath and out. Do one more with me, in and out. The story I'm going to be reading this morning might bring up some feelings and emotions, and I just want to say we can make space for those, as big as they are, and you can also dog-ear them and return to them later. Okay. Grandma's Purple Flowers by Ajoa J. Burroughs. I stop and pick purple flowers, all kinds of purple flowers, Grandma's favorites. I pluck some daisies too and make a crown for my head. I pretend I'm a flower princess. Hyacinth is my name. Grandma opens the squeaky door. "Hi, sweetie pie," she says, smiling. When Grandma sees the purple flowers, her smile grows wide like the Mississippi River, where Grandma and I sometimes sit. There are 2 gold teeth in Grandma's mouth. One has the shape of the moon in it, the other a star. Grandma says that down south where she grew up, those were for good luck. Grandma puts the flowers in a vase by the window, next to a picture of me when I was little. Later, we eat soft corn muffins, so sweet and yummy. As I walk through the park in fall, the leaves show off their carnival colors. The bright oranges and reds perform over my head. After the show, the leaves spin to the ground, twirling this way and that. "Hooray, hooray," I shout, crunching the leaves under my feet on my way to Grandma's. Grandma lets me rake the leaves in the backyard garden we planted together. "Why do leaves have to fall and die?" I ask. "Everything has its time," Grandma tells me. We go inside for a slice of pecan pie. Afterwards, Grandma lets me comb her hair. Before long, she dozes off and I twist her hair into a ball of silver. When winter comes, cottony snowflakes dance around me as I walk through the park and down the hill to Grandma's house. I plowed through the snow bundled in my snowsuit and the scarf that Grandma made. The bare branches above stretch out like long fingers reaching for the sun. With almost frozen fingers, I knock on Grandma's door. "Please, open up," I shout, shivering, but she doesn't answer. I knock again louder and peek through the window. Grandma slowly comes to the door, sipping sassafras tea. "That smells funny, Grandma," I say, "like root beer." Grandma is silent. Her slippered feet shuffle across the floor real slow. "Grandma, can we bake corn muffins?" I ask. "No, baby," she says softly. "I'm feeling too tired today." Her quiet eyes stare straight at mine. I put my arms around her and give her a great big hug. Grandma rubs my back gently and braids my hair. That has come undone. "Baby, you're getting so grown up," she says. Grandma passed away that night. When Mama tells me the next morning, I cry and cry. I want to stay in my room for the rest of the winter, but Mama won't let me. Oh, how I miss Grandma. Walking through the park makes me sad. The once bright snow is now dirty and gray. Skinny branches make spooky shadows on the ground. The icy wind whips past me. I can't wait for spring. One day, I wake up to a branch tapping on my window. Outside, all the branches sway in the breeze, dotted with baby buds. "Spring has finally come," I shout. I dash outside and run as fast as I can through the park and down the hill. A leaf circles to the ground in back of Grandma's house where we used to plant collard greens and okra. When I look closely, I see tiny purple flowers shooting up from the ground, stretching to the sky. My heart feels happy, but part of me still wants to cry. I hug my shoulders like Grandma would and feel a little better. Whenever I see purple flowers now, I think of Grandma. I feel her big hug, and I smile wide like the Mississippi River. Let's take another breath together in and out. One more together in and out. Thank you.
Children are welcome to spend the rest of the service here with us or to visit our kids' room down the hall to the right. And now we enter the time for our meditation. After the meditation is over, we will then go into a time of silence, followed by a reflective hymn, voice still and small.
I'm going to read you a poem that Tucker and I read at our wedding. In gatherings. In gatherings, we are stirred like the leaves of the fall season, rustling around sacred trees, tossed hither and yon until we come to rest together, quietly, softly. We come to gather strength from each other. We come to give strength to each other. We come to ask for strength from the spirit of all that is and is not. When our hearts sing or when they frown, it is the way of compassion telling us to give. It is the way of peace telling us to share our gifts. For we are happiest and most powerful when love is made apparent in and through us. Spirit of the circle that is love, as we twirl in this dance that is life, we give thanks for reminding us each day of our task of ministering to each other with a searching glance, a safe touch, a generous smile, a thoughtful word. Thank you for reminding us that we are always building our beloved comunidad. Thank you for reminding us that through our covenant with you, we covenant with each other, and we are made whole. In gratitude, we celebrate with open hearts and minds. We discover who we are, separate from each other and within one another. In this circle that holds all life, may we ever work toward widening its boundaries until there are none. Amen. Paz. Blessed be.
please join me in our responsive reading found in your order of service. I will read the plain text and you'll respond in the bold and italicized text. And for our good folks on the live stream, you'll find that on the screen as well. I love you and the pain that comes without crying, to the dreams that so many nights have collected in the sky, reflected in my eyes. Looking up at you cosmically, in the voice carved out into silence by the noise of centuries collapsing. I love you in reflective insomnia, from where my spirit has flown in birds. I love you. My love escapes full expressions and routes, breaking shadows and reaching your image from the innocent point. Where I am grass and vibration.
Whew. Hi, everyone. I am not a public speaker, so I am quite nervous to be here. Y'all, stop it. Clap at the end, okay? Thank you so much for being here. This is my first ever sermon at UU, and I want to thank my family for being on the live stream. Lo quiero. Yeah, I'm just delighted to be in front of you today, so let's get started. Let me put my water down. I'm vamping. Beloveds, today I want to talk to you about nostalgia. The ache of remembering, the joy of what was, the grief of what still is. Nostalgia is not just a feeling, it is a haunting. It is the way a song, a smell, a familiar face can pull us into the past while the present slips through our fingers. It is mourning while we are still living in the moment. It is regret wrapped in love. Last weekend, I had the pleasure and privilege of digitizing and restoring old family photos. Images of my grandmother, my mother, my brothers, my late grandfather, and even people I did not even know, but who were very near and dear to my mom and my grandma. Really snapshots of lives that built me. I got to see my grandfather in vivid color, a man who fought against fascism during Spain's Civil War and stepped up to raise me when my own biological father chose not to. I know, T. These restorations brought life to moments I don't remember and people who are long gone. Joy and grief have been deeply intertwined in this process of remembrance. So after church last week, I got to FaceTime my family from my grandmother's new room in the assisted living facility that she has been living in for a few months now. Mommy, as we call her, was recently diagnosed with dementia. She has been an unwavering pillar in my life, and though I'm still grappling with the sureness of her decline, I cherish the moments we get to share. In this call, I had the pleasure of seeing her joy and surprise at the pictures I was able to restore. She smiled as memories danced across her face, but when she saw my grandfather, Bobby, her heart asked a question that her mind could no longer answer. Where is he? Is he okay? Memory brought us closer, but it also reminded us of what time had taken. My mom didn't miss a beat and said he was doing well and had moved back to Spain. She settled in peaceful acceptance of this fact because as she looked at pictures of them both where he was holding her, sharing in the joy of existing together frozen in time, the man she loved so deeply was alive. I saw her processing an overwhelming feeling of nostalgia in real time as both a comfort and a sorrow. These pictures were proof of the life they lived together, so close and yet so far away. How we hold on to memory shapes what remains. It is not passive. It does not simply sit quietly in a corner of our hearts. It reaches out. It pulls us back. It asks us to bear witness. And when we engage with memory intentionally, we are doing something sacred. We are resisting the erasure of time. We are refusing to let what we love slip away. Now, if you know me, you know I love Bad Bunny. Puerto Rican icon and overall handsome bonbon. Thank you, it's true. He has internationalized Puerto Rican sounds and culture, politics, and Puerto Rico's right to freely exist from the binds of American imperialism. His latest album is a love letter to Puerto Rico and to our collective liberation, and this sermon is deeply inspired by some of his songs. In Lo que le pasó a Hawaii, What Happened to Hawaii, which is the first song you heard today, Bad Bunny uses what happened to Hawaii, islands forcefully seized and annexed by the United States in the 19th century, as an example of what is happening now in Puerto Rico. As the oldest colony in the world, Puerto Rico and its people are seeing mass sell-offs of land to corporations that extract from the land and give nothing back. Puerto Rican communities are seeing lands ripped from their hands at a violent pace, but this is a story as old as time. His song, Debí tirar más fotos, I should have taken more pictures, which you will hear after this sermon, is a song of longing, of loss, of wishing we had held on just a little tighter. I should have taken more pictures when I had you, he sings. How often do we look back and wish we had paid closer attention? How often do we wish we had held on to someone a little longer, looked in their eyes a little deeper, cherished the moment before it became a memory? Nostalgia is the cruel reminder that we are living through something precious and did not know it until it was gone. And yet, there is a lesson in this. Nostalgia reminds us not to take anything for granted, not our people, not our home, not our history. It calls us to remember, to preserve, and to fight for what remains. For Boricuas, nostalgia is not just a sentimental feeling, it is an inheritance. Puerto Rico has been mourning itself for generations, caught in the hands of an empire that refuses to let it be free. The island is alive with music, with poetry, with love, but it is also bleeding. Every hurricane that devastates, every blackout that leaves people in darkness, every young person who has to leave to find work, this is what colonialism does. It forces us to miss what should still be ours. I hope my people never move away, Bad Bunny sings. But we have had to move, forced to find another way to survive. And in this process, so many have lost their connection to home, not by choice, but by necessity. The land that raised them, the culture that shaped them, the neighborhoods where they felt for joy. I'm a Spanish speaker. First felt joy. Goodness, say that 10 times fast. Many will only know these things through photographs, through stories, through the nostalgia that refuses to let them forget. And yet, the diaspora remembers. We hold on to the old songs, the old flavors, the old prayers. Even in distance, we keep Puerto Rico alive in us. That too is an act of resistance. Because memory is resistance. To remember what was, to refuse to forget what should still be, is an act of defiance against those who would erase us. Indigenous communities understood that memory is sacred. They carried stories across generations, not just to remember, but to survive. Oral traditions passed down the history of their lands, their people, and their relationship to the earth. Even when languages were outlawed, when children were stolen, when cultures were criminalized, memory kept them alive. Remembering was, and still is, an act of resistance. In Taino traditions, memory was not something held alone. It was a collective carried by the community, by the land, by the stars. To forget was not just losing the past, but to sever the ties that keep us rooted in who we are. And across Turtle Island, Native communities have continued to fight for that memory. From the preservation of sacred lands to the revitalization of languages, Indigenous people show us that keeping memory alive is how we protect what is sacred. What if we remembered that truth? What if we treated memory not as nostalgia, but as a responsibility? What if we saw every story, every name, every photograph as a thread connecting us back to the people who came before us and the people who will come after? And this makes me think of New Orleans, a city where history lives through sound, through taste, through rhythm, through lived into oral traditions. A city that knows displacement too well. A city where gentrification and disaster capitalism forces families to pack up generations of memories, where those who built the culture are pushed aside so that outsiders can consume it. Tourists come, take their pictures, and leave. They want to capture the spirit of the city, but they don't want to fight for it. They don't ask about the people who have been priced out of their own neighborhoods, about the families that never got to come home after Katrina, about the Black and Indigenous roots that have been buried under the weight of real estate deals and corporate greed. And it's not just cities and nations that are erased. It is happening in institutions too. Universities, which should be sanctuaries of knowledge and justice, too often become accomplices in forgetting. I know this because I watched it happen. My own office, the Office for Gender and Sexual Diversity, was disappeared in 48 hours, less than 1 month ago. An office that held space for queer and trans students, that preserved the stories, struggles, and triumphs of those who dared to live out loud in a world that tells them to shrink. Gone, as if it never existed. And I wonder, how many more stories will be erased if we do not fight to keep them alive? When institutions dismantle the very spaces that nurture the most vulnerable, they are not just closing down an office. They are trying to close the door on memory, on legacy, on truth. But we know better. We know that every student who found safety in that space carries that memory. And memory is a weapon. Memory refuses to die quietly. Queer and trans people have always carried memory like a torch, passing it from generation to generation. We remember because forgetting is dangerous. We remember because forgetting lets them win. And right now, we are living through a time when they want us to forget. The attacks on queer and trans people are not just political, they are existential. They want to erase us from libraries, from classrooms, from history itself. They want our existence to be a cautionary tale. But we know that memory is stronger than fear. And every time we remember, every time we tell our stories, we refuse to disappear. Nostalgia is a double-edged sword. It is what keeps culture alive, but it is also what reminds us of how much has been taken. What would New Orleans be if the people who made it were allowed to thrive instead of being pushed to the margins? How much more could it be if memory was not just something to look back on, but something to protect in the present? And beloveds, what is happening in Palestine right now is more than displacement, it is genocide. It is the deliberate erasure of a people, a history, and a home. And yet, they remember. They hold on to their keys, their photographs, their stories. When Palestinians hold on to keys to their homes, they are holding more than metal, they are holding history. After the first Nakba in 1948, when over 700,000 Palestinians were forced from their homes, families locked their doors and took their keys with them, believing that they would one day return. Those keys became symbols, not just of homes lost, but of the right to remember, to resist, and to return. The colonizer wants us to forget, wants us to rewrite history so that Palestine is erased not just from maps, but from memory. To remember is an act of defiance. Every demolished home, every olive tree cut, every family torn apart, those are not just losses. Those are wounds that demand to be remembered. Nostalgia here is not just longing, it is resistance. It is the refusal to let go of identity, the refusal to let go of truth, the refusal to let go of the right to exist. And for those of us watching, grieving, feeling powerless, what do we do with our sorrow? Nostalgia should not make us passive. It should not make us long for a past we cannot reclaim while ignoring the fight in front of us. Nostalgia should not be a tomb. It should be a torch. It should remind us that we have work to do, that justice is unfinished, and that love is urgent. We preserve what matters. Take the pictures, tell the stories, write the names, keep the memory alive. When empires try to erase us, we fight back by remembering, and we protect what remains. Nostalgia is only powerful if there is something left to remember. Fight for your communities, protect your people. Puerto Rico is still fighting for sovereignty. New Orleans is still fighting for its people. Palestine is still fighting for survival. Queer and trans people know this fight intimately, and still we resist. The past cannot be changed, but the future is still in our hands, and we must stay present. We do not wait until it is too late to say, I love you, to take the picture, to hold the memory. We do not wait until it is gone to realize its value. Life is fragile and time is cruel. Be here now. Memory alone is not enough. We cannot let nostalgia lull us into complacency. If we love something enough to mourn it when it's gone, we must love it enough to protect it while it's here. Take the picture, yes, but also be in the picture. Be the proof that we were here, that we loved fiercely, that we fought relentlessly. Show up for Puerto Rico, stand with Palestine, protect queer and trans lives. Sign the petition, stop the grain train from erasing the 9th Ward. Challenge the institutions that erase us. Push back against the forces that want to make our communities invisible. We must not just remember, we must act. We must show future generations that we didn't just mourn, we built. We didn't just look back, we moved forward. We didn't just hold on to memory, we made history. The last song you'll hear today is also by Bad Bunny. It is called La Mudanza. La Mudanza, the move, is a song that carries the same spirit of resistance. The music video, which I urge you to watch, is a rallying cry for independence. It is set in Vieques, an island off the coast of Puerto Rico that the US Navy used as a training and testing ground. From the 1940s to 2003, the US occupied the island. They decimated its lush environment by dropping 2,000-pound bombs from ships, jets, helicopters, tanks. Coincidentally, the same drops that Israel is now dropping on Palestine. They used napalm, depleted uranium, and heavy metals, ruining the lands that they bombed to this day. And it really wasn't until fierce protests by Puerto Ricans challenged this US military occupation, and the island was given back to Puerto Ricans. barely 20 years ago. The video is rife with symbols of struggle and survival, images of these protests, and precious coastlines that remind the viewer of what is at stake if colonialism and unchecked greed continue to steal land and resources from its people. Bad Bunny doesn't just tell us to remember. He shows us that remembrance is an act of defiance. He sings, "Aquí mataron gente por sacar la bandera, por eso es que ahora yo la llevo donde quiera." They killed people here for taking out the flag. That's why I now take her everywhere. He invokes the 1948 gag law that made it illegal to display the Puerto Rican flag or speak in favor of independence. Under this law, people were imprisoned, tortured, and even killed for simply claiming their heritage. And yet, people resisted. And yet, my people, my ancestors, raised our flag high. And the image in front of your order of worship is a still from this video. It says, "No me quiero ir de aquí." I don't want to leave this place. Like those who fought before us, Bad Bunny holds the flag high and refuses to let Puerto Rico be forgotten. He sings vehemently of his refusal to leave his home and gives us a call to action to stand together and fight for what we claim is ours. And this is the ultimate truth that nostalgia teaches us. We are not alone. We are connected to those who came before us, to those still fighting, and to those still hoping. We carry their stories, their songs, and their prayers. Our ancestors, our elders, our people who have passed, they live on in the ways that we remember them, in the ways we say their name, in the way that we fight for what they loved. So today, beloveds, hold each other close. Make sure that what you love is not just something you look back on, but something that you protect while it is still here. Let our nostalgia not be one of regret, but one of remembrance. And let that remembrance move us into action. Memory is a seed. Let us water it with our love and guard it with our lives. Go forth and speak truth. Go forth and carry memory like a flame. Go forth and let the love of your people guide you. May it be so. Oh, can I take a selfie? Yeah. I'm practicing what I'm literally preaching. You're gonna have to move. Let's see. Spacing the other way. What if oh yeah, buddy. Yay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Justice is unfinished and love is urgent. Thank you for that call to action. Thank you for that call to remember. And now, as we transition into this time of offering, we ask that those on the live stream, if you're able to pull up the offering special music so that you can have it ready as we transition to this time. Generosity is a spiritual discipline.
And we can now practice our act of giving, either by placing our offering in the collection plate or by using the information in your order of service to give electronically. Now, please refer to your order of service for the lyrics, translations, and history. Gabe invites us to reflect as the music is played overhead. Gifts to this community are gratefully received. Let us acknowledge these gifts by reading together the words in your order of service. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world. Giving in the offering plate and pledging are part of how we steward this congregation. Oh, y'all are good? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. We appreciate y'all. Yeah, giving in the offering plate and pledging are part of how we steward this congregation, but there are countless ways to serve, build community, and share our love with the rest of the city. We have a few opportunities coming up. So after this service, there's going to be a conversation about anti-racism and anti-oppression in the first of scheduled monthly discussions. It will be held here in the chapel from noon to 1, so we can better individually and collectively work to live out our UU values. The conversation will be led by FUUNO members who participated in the Drum Aiming for Allyship workshop last fall. Childcare will be provided. And then also the young adults picnic in the city that was planned for today, in City Park that was planned for today, has been rescheduled for next Sunday. So it's next Sunday at 3 p.m. Please contact Madeline. Please raise your hand if you have any questions about it. And also the fundraising committee asked that you all submit some feedback in the feedback form that went out in the digest on Friday. They're meeting tomorrow morning and really want to know the congregation's feedback on how to move forward and decide on fundraising efforts. And then lastly, we have a spotlight announcement by Justin.
Hey all, it's good to see you all. As many, maybe most of you know, we live stream our services each week. And the work of that is what happens up there in that magic little space. We also are anticipating that soon we're going to have a drop-down screen and a projector, which is going to allow us to live present lyrics to hymns, readings, and other materials. All of that, however, including just the live streaming, is actually quite a lot. And as some of you know, I do other things in the church as well. As some of you know, I also do other things in the church as well. So I am looking for a volunteer, or more than one volunteer, who would love to learn, if not is already expert in PowerPoint, using a computer, using a joystick to move a camera. Any of these things, they're super easy to learn. I'd be happy to teach you. It would help out just me in general. It would help out as we look to make our congregation that much more accessible. Let me really highlight that. The accessibility of this is really crucial. And lastly, come summer, I'm going to be traveling. There will be other times when I can't always be here, and so having backups, extra people who could lend a hand, who feel comfortable, would help a lot. So if you are thinking, I would love to just volunteer once a month, once every 2 months, just give this thing a try, come talk to me. Thank you.
And now, please rise and body your spirit and join me in our chalice extinguishing, which is found in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together. And please remain as you are for our closing hymn, number 1051, and it's found in your green hymnal.
Each
Well, that took the breath out of me. I didn't prepare anything for the benediction and was told to just follow the Spirit. So here we go. We are lucky every day to wake up, all right? It is what we do with our lives that matter, how we show up for our people that matters. I just really invite you to exercise some free will, you know? You don't have to follow rules if you don't want to. Don't be afraid to be the loudest voice in the room, to cause a little trouble. Trust me, it'll be worth it, all right? Play that bunny.
Trabajando desde chamaquito.